All right, let's just dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about something, well, something that might mess with your head a little bit. What if that voice in your head, the one you trust to make every single decision, what if it's the absolute worst guide you could possibly have? We're about to open up the owner's manual to you that, chances are, you never even knew existed.
So let me just start by asking you this, and really think about it. All your thoughts, all your anxieties, all those brilliant plans you map out, what if none of that is actually you? What if the person you think you are is just a story your mind is telling, and your true self is something else entirely?
Look, let's not beat around the bush. Here's a quote from the source material that gets straight to the heart of it. You're not in charge of your mind. I mean, that's a pretty wild statement, isn't it? It basically says that all that chatter, that constant analyzing and worrying, you're not supposed to control it. You're not even supposed to listen to it.
So, if you're not in charge of your mind, then what in the world is it? Well, according to this knowledge, it's just a mechanism. That's it. Think about it. You don't tell your heart to beat. You don't tell your lungs to breathe. They just do their job. And your mind? It's the same deal. Its job is to think, to process, to measure things. But its job is absolutely not to be the CEO of your life. It's a tool, and we've mistaken it for the boss.
And this brings us to the root of the problem, a really key concept called the not self. This is where everything goes wrong. This is the part of us that gets us into all kinds of trouble, making decisions that just lead to feeling bitter or frustrated. And it all begins because the mind is trying to do a job it was never built for.
So what is this not self, really? Honestly, it's the mask you wear. It's a completely false identity that your mind cooks up based on all the pressures from the outside world. You know, what your parents told you to be, what society thinks is successful, what your friends think is cool. It's your mind's desperate attempt to answer the question, who should I pretend to be to get by, instead of just letting you be who you are.
Okay, so to get how this happens, we have to look under the hood at our own mechanics. Think of yourself as having two kinds of parts. First, you've got your defined centers. This is the real you. It's your consistent, reliable life force shining out no matter what. And then you've got your open centers. These are more like giant satellite dishes, designed to take in and amplify everything and everyone around you. Now here's the kicker. The not-self mind builds its entire false identity based on the junk it picks up through these super vulnerable open satellite dishes.
And this is exactly what that sounds like inside your head. The not-self mind just obsesses over these questions that come from its most vulnerable open places. So if your mind's processing center is open, it's constantly screaming, "Am I certain? I have to be absolutely sure." If your center for willpower and worth is open, it's whispering, "Am I good enough? I have to prove myself again." These aren't your questions. This is just the static your mind picked up from someone else's broadcast.
So what are these outside forces that mess with our minds so much? Where does all this static come from? Well, this knowledge actually has a very specific name for them.
They're called harmonic influencers. Here's a way to think about it. Imagine your open centers are like empty parking spaces. These harmonic influencers are like shiny sports cars that drive by, and your mind just freaks out and says, "Oh my God, I need that car in my parking spot. Then I'll finally be complete," even though what you really need is a pickup truck. It's a terrible influence. And you've got to love the sense of humor here. The founder of this system, Rao Ruhu, he joked about this. He said he really wanted to call them harmonic influence peddlers. It's just a little bit cheeky, right? But it's perfect, because that's what they do. They try to sell your mind a version of life that isn't even yours.
Okay, enough about the problem. It sounds kind of bleak, I know, but here's the really good news. There is a solution. We all come equipped with our own personal, 100% reliable navigation system. And guess what? It has absolutely nothing to do with your mind. The answer, the real guide, lies in two very simple things: your strategy and your inner authority. This isn't some mental concept. This is your body's intelligence. It's the unique and correct way for you to make decisions, and it's designed to completely bypass all that fear and anxiety from the conditioned mind.
And to really get this, to really let it sink in, there is one perfect metaphor that makes it all click into place. So here it is, your body. That's the vehicle. It's perfectly designed for its journey, and it comes with its own flawless GPS system. That's your inner authority. So where's your mind in all this, your personality? You're the passenger in the back seat. That's it. Your only job is to look out the window, watch the movie of your life, and enjoy the ride. You are not supposed to be in the back seat screaming directions and trying to grab the steering wheel. And when that metaphor truly lands, your entire perspective shifts. It's this huge aha moment. You stop trying to drive the car from the back seat, and you start to learn what it's like to just be a relaxed, aware passenger for a change.
This is what's called passenger consciousness. It's about being a witness to your own life. Now, it's not about shutting the mind up. Oh no, you'll still hear it back there, chattering away with its worries and its plans. The difference is you don't take it seriously anymore. You don't let it make decisions. You just observe it and you let the vehicle, your body, do the driving. Your only job is to see.
And here's the beautiful paradox in all of this. The not-self, that false identity, it doesn't just go away. In fact, it becomes your greatest source of wisdom. Once you stop letting it drive, you can watch it and say, oh, look at that. That's a place where I'm deeply conditioned. That's where I can learn. It transforms from being the source of all your suffering into your own personal curriculum for becoming wise.
So, what this really all boils down to is a choice. A simple but profound choice between two completely different ways of living. On one path, you've got the not-self life. This is the life run by your mind, driven by fear, doubt, and this constant pressure to be something you're not. And we all know where that leads. Resistance, struggle, feeling totally lost. But then there's the other path, the correct life, the one guided by your body's own intelligence. And that's a life that just unfolds, revealing who you were truly born to be.
The source material has a pretty poignant name for this. It calls it the Great Sad Joke. Think about that. A mind trying so desperately to figure it all out. And in the end, it just creates a life that has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the actual being living it. It's a life lived from the outside in, instead of from your true nature, from the inside out.
So, I guess the only question left is for you. We have spent our entire lives being told to think it through, to use our minds, to be the driver. But now you know there's another way. So are you ready to finally hand over the keys? To trust your body's own GPS and just see where this incredible ride takes you?